Welcome to, this is episode 5 of the Front Porch FarmCast.
That's a long, I didn't think we'd make it past 2.
But we've made it to 5.
Yeah.
Like we said, we drop them every Tuesday. Try to get them out every Tuesday at about 7 in the morning. Want to give a big shout out to Mr. Purley's ag class.
Oh yeah.
Apparently they watch us. Even Seth is known to watch us.
Seth's a fan, huh? Yeah.
So that's what I heard. Both Allie and Amity are in his class.
Maybe we might get Mr. Purley to be on the podcast at some point.
So Allie said he was interested. I don't know if she was pulling my leg or not. But, So big shout out to them. Let's talk today about, we're in between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yep.
So what are some things that you always like to do during this time? It's always about 3 weeks. What's something that you always do kind of during this time?
So this time is like in my world, we just kind of cleaning everything up for the end of the year. Like on my job, we're trying to get inventories down. We're trying to get maybe like our cattle sold that's on feed or something like that. Just trying to sweep everything under the rug, start fresh back in January. And then like on a home front, like having 2 girls at 2 different schools right now, like it's
you're running like crazy.
It's basketball season, and I tell you what, I love basketball. I really do. If anybody's out there and you're looking for a head coach, I think I might take the position next year if you actually give it to me. So, anyways, like I say, it's just fun. It's you get out and see people and get to go to different schools and stuff like that. And I think, I really think that's like probably really my funnest time this time of year is to go to basketball games.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. It's very hectic for me because, of course, I've got kids in school, running to their events and things. But then doing boys and girls basketball, that's 20 events per team.
Right.
So you're looking at 40 events you get to go to, 20 or so different schools that you get to be at.
Yeah.
And I some people think I'm crazy because just like this week, I've had events every night of this week so far.
Really?
My next break is Sunday.
Oh.
That's the next night that I don't have something going on. But I just love it because you get to be out, you get to go out, talk to people, hang out at other schools, hang out at I always call it the friendly confines of West Washington.
Yeah.
Nothing like being at home there. But just being able to be out and see people and talk to them, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and of course, this time of year you get after Thanksgiving, and of course right now we're recording right now and it's 4:30. It's almost dark. By the time we get back to Salem again, it will be dark. We'll just do all the feeding and then be dark tonight and pretend like we saw everything. And like I say, it's people come off that Thanksgiving. I think they come off their Thanksgiving break and they're like, hey, we're kind of getting geared up for Christmas, and then you see Christmas lights up, and then it seems like everybody. I would call the world as the most happiest place between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just like you try to pull out somewhere and everybody says, "Oh, come ahead, go ahead. We got all day."
Do that in February. Yeah, somebody will run you over.
In February you're getting T-boned and it's just a bad deal. But I just think that like this time of year, between Christmas and Thanksgiving, I think it's great, and I just and people get hyped up for Christmas. I know people had their Christmas trees up, in Halloween time and all that other stuff, and that's great. I mean, our whole house is decorated with lights, and it's a sin if you don't leave the lights on all the time, and all that stuff. But and like I say, it's not the fact that I don't like it; it's just the fact that I sit there, I guess it's one thing that ever since I was a little kid, whenever we decorated the Christmas tree at our house. Basically we did a little bit of stuff outside, not a whole lot, but a little bit of stuff outside. And then I think as me and my brother got old enough, we kind of decided we was going to
you were going to do it.
Yeah, we was going to recreate Christmas in our part of the world. And we did that for a couple years. And then Mom and Dad got the chance to build a new house, and they built a new house, and we tore the old house down, and me and Corey both separated off and was not home no more. So like it was just one of those things that like that was a big thing to do, was get ready for Christmas. But I think it's funny because depending on where Christmas lands, if it lands in the front of the week or the end of the week, it seems different though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about your decorations, because your decorations are unique. I don't know if anybody's driven by Ryan's house or not, but Ryan is quite the decorator, and it doesn't matter the holiday that's coming up. He's got a decoration set now, and it's not the normal decoration. A lot of people have blow-up inflatables in their yard. I know we've got 4 or 5 of them along the front of the house, and they're wonderful, but they don't compare to what Ryan does. They're not even in the same ballpark.
Yeah, I don't know. I was teasing Amity one day, and this is back years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was like, we ought to take that hay bale and turn it into a pumpkin, and she's like, looks at me like I'm dumb, and then so like, I'll go to town to get stuff, come back and like show her what I mean, and she's like, oh, that's cool, and it gives us a little time to do stuff together, and then try to do it, and so now it's kind of it turned in from maybe making like just a little jack-o'-lantern face on one to actually this year we had a pretty good, and maybe we can edit that in here.
Yeah.
But we can I can show you what we did for Christmas, or not for Christmas, but for Halloween. We had like a Frankenstein. We had a couple just regular old pumpkins. We even made the Grinch.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm like super impressed with.
Everybody's like, why'd you make the Grinch? And I was like, well, did you not see it? Because it was one round bell on top of the top, and then the one on the bottom. But the one on the bottom where the heart was, it was a pumpkin. And everybody's like, no, we never seen that. I was like, oh, okay. And then we have people all the time at the end of the driveway, it seems like, just taking pictures. And
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I stopped at the end of the driveway.
So one guy, it's a funny story. One guy, I was going down there one day, and he's like, oh man, I ain't trying to do that. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, people feel free to, I ought to put a sign up there, feel free to take pictures. Because leave
a little bucket.
Yeah.
Hey, put $2 in so I can buy the spray paint.
Yeah, it's and I tell, oh yeah, that's, we'll get on that in a minute. But yeah, that's, it's amazing what just a little graffiti artist, and I don't know, like there's it's kind of like when you carve a pumpkin, there's no wrong face, there's no wrong lines, it's just how you put them on there.
Yeah.
And so, like with that, especially with the Grinch one, I had a couple guys, they're like, well, if we stand here, you can't see the heart, or the where the heart where the pumpkin's at, and we could go ahead and do our Christmas photos. And I was like, do whatever you want to do, man. You're good, And so
I think you need to make, like I said, a little box out there. Everybody can drop $1 in when they stop and take a picture, or whatever.
But it is the talk of the community. We got some neighbors there that live on the back side of us, drive school bus, and just neighbors and friends around there. They're like, man, like we can't wait till you put your decorations
and
out.
It changes, like it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like you'll set them out, and then when the next holiday comes, those will go away, and the new ones will come out.
We actually took those out on right after, maybe like day or two after Halloween. Halloween was on the weekend, I think, or something like that, and we took them out, maybe left it set there for 2 or 3 days, and then we had to get the paint back out and start going again. The problem is on my fields there at my house, we didn't round bale. Well, we did round bale the hay off the field, but it was very good quality hay. So it stuck in the barn, and so we kind of used just some common old grass hay and stuff like that. And that's kind of what we paint. But I didn't have as much as that around the house. So I had to call a buddy of mine in town. I was like, hey, you got any good round bales that's got like a little maybe extra wrap on it to keep it together? Yeah, I got it. Well, his bales was bigger than the ones that we make. So I was like, oh man, this is crazy, like, so I had a bigger picture to make, and like I say, we as we got into the season, I did the pumpkin, and then I was like, well, my daughter, she played volleyball, so I bet I can make a volleyball because it's round too.
It's round.
So I carved a volleyball in there and designed it, and then put her name across it and her jersey number and stuff like that. So I set it on the other side of the driveway, so we kind of separated, themes here.
I hear for sectional that you're going to put all like 24, all West Washington, and all of Salem's team along your fence there.
So I've really thought about that. I thought about doing basketballs and doing like the whole squad.
Yeah.
And then like.
Well, and sorry, I forgot about Eastern. You can throw Eastern in there too because you got relatives there.
Yeah. I got cousins over there in Eastern, but we did. I have thought about that, and I have also thought about putting 2 different round bales out there for the girls in the yard,
Yeah.
but maybe after Christmas season or something like that. But I did think about putting Jayla's team, there at the house, and then putting like Ambity's team up around the highway where we own the ground too. So, because that is Salem School District there, and maybe just. But then I was like, well, that doesn't look right because one gets more publicity than the other probably. So I don't know how that'll all work out. But
one like alternate them, one of each.
Yeah. And like I say, the girls, they're teammates. They're just both teams. They're just heck of nice girls. You always want to do something with them and give them big time and cheer them on. But so anyways, after we get done with Halloween there, I got the bright idea last year. I was like, I'm gonna try to make a turkey, and I just trying to brainstorm in my head. I'm like, okay, so like, how am I gonna do this, and how am I gonna keep it realistic, and how am I gonna do this and that, and so my thought was I would take square bales and put them on their ends, and then make the feathers across the back.
Right.
Well, how am I going to get them stuck in there? So like that was a big chore to figure out, and then another big chore to figure out is how to get them to stay there.
Yeah, because they sit out in the weather. I mean, when the rain comes, it blows them, rain, snow, everything. I mean,
and then the biggest part is we make them up there at the barn in the cattle barn, and so then we transport them down to the road, and so. Like this year when we was coming down through there, it was dark. Amity's in front of me somewhere. She don't even have the lights on her, the buggy she took down through there. And I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, we're going to run over. And so like I leave her at the road. I come back and then I get the other turkey and start getting moved back there or something. And I forget what we was doing. And I said, I got somebody else wanted to do something. And I was sitting there thinking, our kid's in the road down there and it's dark. And, we got to get down there and, make sure somebody don't steal her or something like that. They can steal the hay bale, but don't steal my kid. But anyways, so get down there and get it all set up, and then that comes to, touch everything up, make sure everything looks good, and it does. That. So this last year we did 1 turkey. This year we did 2, and I tell you what, it's pretty cool. Like people drive, like there's people from a long ways that drive to the Rosebud Bakery over there.
Yeah.
And they come by and so they start telling people, hey, you need to go up there and see the turkeys. And,
I drive by and I'm always interested to see what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like I know the season. I know like Thanksgiving. Oh well, maybe a turkey or whatever.
Right.
Halloween a pumpkin, but. It's to the point now where you've done it enough that like, okay, well, I did a pumpkin last year, so now I got to step my game up and do something else.
And that's where like I said, it came from making a little triangle, pumpkin face to now it's I got pictures go back, and now it's like it's full blown out artwork with cartoon artwork and stuff like that. And then like especially when you did that turkey, you're like, man, I got these 5 bales sticking up on the back. How am I going to get them to stay together? So there's a lot of string involved. There's a lot of, then I'm like, okay, well, I kind of really need to plan this out in the actual summertime.
Yeah.
And I need to bale a bunch of dead lightweight grass for those feathers, because those things on the end, like I say, the wind and everything, they blow, and it just gets to be kind of one of those things that, you got to watch out for. But, I actually, for my Christmas deal I got this year, I don't know if I'll do it. My problem is with the hay bale, you always got something you can dispose of, whether it's for composting or honestly, I still feed them to the cows. Yeah, I go out there and then take the net off of them and unroll them and lay them out there, and the cows lay on them and eat them, and everything's fine. I mean, it's got some paint on it, but it ain't as toxic as what you think it is. Right. So,
and once they get into it, the center of the bale is fine. Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Right. You're talking maybe an inch off the end.
At the most, yeah. Because like I say, most of it is. When I put that on there, obviously you're talking about spray paint, so it's not like it's a hard paint. And then by the time it weathers for 15 to 20 days, it's pretty much when you touch it, it almost flakes off, to be honest. But like I say, I actually, it's funny. I took the feathers off the turkeys, and I had to feed a bale the other day because I didn't have a bale sitting there, and it was. I think we was going to one of Jayla's ball games or something like that, and so anyways, I took the feathers off the other one too. So I got a turkey sitting there in the driveway with no feathers on it. Yeah, and I got a Grinch. I still got the Grinch face. The Grinch face is I've already promised it. It's funny because a lady asked me, she said, "What are you going to do with that?" And I said, "I'm going to feed it to my cows." She goes, "No, you're not. I want it." I was like, well, okay, whatever, you know. Like, but everybody, you know, like my mom, everybody, they're thinking, you know, put the Grinch back out there. Go put another. You know, my thought is if we could get some warm weather in the next couple days, like I'd probably do another one and make a really nice, like little hometown hay bale art. But I don't know. Like I say, I'm not big on standing outside in the cold shaking a rattle can, you know.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the day that you decide you're going to do Frosty the Snowman and you stack 3 of them together.
So we did that last year with the wrapped hay bales. We got them, what everybody calls the marshmallow bales.
Yeah.
So I did that. Was it last year or year before I did that? So on those, you take 2 of them and stack them on the end, and then you take about 2 or 3 tires and put on top for the hat. Yeah. And then you take tape and you put it on the bales, and then you make the face and and the carrot nose and all that other stuff. The hardest part to find for that is the arms. Like, because you got to have stick arms. Yeah. Well, you know, you got to have a pretty good twig, good size, you know, like it can't just be like a little limb
like a tree.
Yeah, right. So really you got to go cut down about a 2-inch tree and, you know, figure out how to jab that thing inside the bale
to make
wrapped
it as tight as can be.
Right. So it's kind of, and wet. Yeah. So it's kind of, you know, and, you know, back to what we was talking about earlier with the expense of this thing, this product. I mean, you know, our hay bales, we value our hay bales at like probably 60 to 80 bucks a bale, and some of, you know, like the more valuable ones are more than that, but you know, we bale pretty good hay. We don't try to bale the junk, you know, or even if we do, we, you know, it's not what we really intend to feed, but you know, there's you know, you take, I think we had 2, 4, 6, 8. I think we had 6 or 8 bales there out for Halloween, and so I reversed them and switched to the backside of them and did the turkeys, and then you know, like I say, if you know, you get to painting bales and putting them out there, and you know, especially like
I need
good quality.
I need 3 more cans of paint to finish this off.
So when I went there, I had a picture we could put up of my cart that I had from True Value. I go up to True Value there, and you know, because I got the largest selection of spray paint, I think, and it's, you know, and
Southern Indiana.
Well, here's the catch with it. Spray paint costs pretty much the same, and it you know, a lot of times, I tell you that my biggest problem that I had was 2 weeks before I wanted to do all this stuff. They had cans of spray paint for like $1, just misfit cans and everything, and I was like, I'm not doing that this year.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I was hell bent on I'm not doing it. I don't care. Like been there, done this. I'm not gonna do it. And so, anyways, I ended up doing it, and you know, I had to pay the original like $5.49
for a can.
Well, I mean, so like here's the catch to it. When you paint a bale, like just say like the pumpkin is, you know, the one bale is orange, so that's on our bales, it's like a 5-foot circle. Yeah. So 1 can of paint will paint that pretty good. Another half a can makes it look better. Yeah. And so like, then you got to have, okay, well, I want this one to have blue eyes. This one to have green eyes. This one here's got little rosy cheeks. This
so
one
you end up 9 different colors.
Yeah. And then so like, I think that one day I went in there and I set it all down. She goes, "Ryan, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm gonna make my pumpkin thing." She's like, "Oh, I thought, yeah, did you do that last year?" I was like, "Yeah, I showed it to her, you know." She's like, "Oh, it's so nice, you know." And so like, anyways, for example, one of the square bales that fit on top of the turkey as a feather, it takes 1 can of paint, and most of the time, like this year we got done, it was right at dark, and I told Amity, I said, "What do you think?" She goes, "It's fine." I was like, "It's not fine. We got to brighten this thing up." She's like, "It's fine, Dad. Leave it alone." I'm like, "No, we're going." She's like, "Just go put it at the road," you know. So like, so anyways, we end up putting it down there at the road, and everything was fine. Everything looked good, and you know, but you could tell like last week whenever I brung them in, you know, they'd been weathered, you know, and you know, like I say, you get birds and and eagles, whatever, come land on it and steal some stuff for their nest too. So, you know, and then with a silage bale, so it's all wrapped in plastic, and it's wet anyway. So you know, by turning those upside down, you almost got to figure out how to seal the top so it doesn't drain down in there, and then into it. And then of course on the bottom you got your regular ground, so where I set these bales is underwater right now as we speak. So like it holds a lot of water in that area, and it's not the ideal situation to put bales, but you just got to understand that you're probably not going to get your value back out of your bales, you know, and it's,
but everybody around loves seeing it.
Oh yeah. It's worth it. It's, you know, I'm sure everybody on here does something just to make somebody happy, but like, you know, for people to drive by, see, you know, to look out your window
and see cars
down there, stop, little kids out there, you know, like,
they're loving it.
Like, I'm not no artist. I took Miss King in elementary's art class, and Mr. McIntosh in high school.
And that's as far as your art went.
That's as far as my art went. I think I had to take some kind of an art class for like 3 or 4 weeks in college or something. In one of our deals there. I don't know why in agribusiness we had to take an art thing, but anyways, we had to take some kind of an art thing there, and man, I was lost. I had no clue. I don't, you know, like I can sit here and I can say, oh, okay, well, I see a perspective of something. Yeah, I see it, but you know, when you draw it, it's hard, and you know, I can always draw pretty decent. My brother, he can. Corey can draw. Corey can flat freaking draw. Like, and he was. I don't know if mom and dad still got it, but when he was a little kid, he'd sit at the table and draw, and like he'd be 8, 9 years old and draw something that, like, I guarantee you most 20-year-old people couldn't draw. Like, it was just amazing. But like I say, we've always tried to be a little bit creative, I guess, you know, because, you know, like I say, the hay bale stuff, the draw, the whatever, like, it doesn't cost that much to do it, but it, you know,
it brings a lot of joy to everybody.
Oh shoot, yeah, for sure. But yeah, like on the Christmas thing, I don't know. What I'm thinking about doing is, it would cost me equivalent to a hay bale, but when I'm done with it, I don't have a use for it.
Yeah.
So we did do a round bale Christmas tree. I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And stacked round bales on top, and then painted them green, and then stacked them up.
That's the
stacked them up. Yeah, and then me and Amity stood out there one day on a day like today where it was -5 and the wind was blowing, and we tried to decorate it and hang lights on it. And of course, the only thing you can use down there by the road is the solar lights.
Right.
So, you know, you're putting all this lights on here and taking all this time doing it, and you're like, gosh, I hope they work. You know. So, you know, it's just one of those things. But it is definitely. It's definitely worth it to, you know, see it lit up overnight, or somebody pulling around, you know, and seeing that. So,
well, with that, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. We will see you guys on the following Tuesday, which will be the Tuesday before Christmas. So be looking for that. Like I said, always a shout out to Mr. Perlee's ag class and our girls who sit in there, and does anybody snap you the pictures of them?
Yeah, she starts telling me stuff where me and you are at. I said, Craig is in school and I'm at work. She's like, no, you're not. I was like, that is from yesterday.
Yeah. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to our kids.
Oh, and we got our seatbelts on.
Yeah, seatbelts on.
Yeah.
Kids warned us the first one. We didn't wear them, so we got them on this time.
Episode 1, go back and rewatch that one.
Watch that one.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have them on this one. We learned.
Yeah.
So the Front Porch FarmCast mobile studio here, which is AKA Ryan's truck. So like I said, with that, we're going to wrap this one up, and we will see you guys next Tuesday.